Okay guys, we're back. Jim, once again behind the camera. We're going to go over the equipment. Now that we have taken it out of the box, inventoried it, we're going to sit there and start setting it up. And you want to set the stuff up at the side of the truck first and make sure everything's working. Hook up all your connections, latch some IFBs, or like just call yourself or whatever it is, and just make sure you know your IFB's working, your PL's working, because you don't want to have to troubleshoot when this thing is a mile and a half out in the field. Okay, so everything's on the table here. We're going to start with this right here is the what they call a control room unit, and then you have the camera side. They're very similar, but also there's some differences as well. Okay, so we're going to go over all that stuff. So the control unit, room unit, stays at the truck, and the camera unit obviously goes out in the field. Okay, let's start with the fiber. Okay, we already put the fiber in there, but prior to doing that, we also clean the ends. You always want to clean the ends every time you get something on the fiber and in the box, that kind of stuff. It's going to help you out. And yes, and we also want to sit there and make sure that you hook up the fibers in the appropriate way, and make sure the fibers go in the right direction. So if you're going in one, okay, on the control unit, you're coming out one on the camera unit, and if you're going out two on the control unit, you're going into on the camera side. That way, everything's going in the right direction and everything's going to work for you. Okay. If you don't, then obviously you're not going to get your signals. Okay. So let's turn the boxes on. And let's go over some of the stuff that it's on all these connections in the front here and see what we're going to need. I'm going to go ahead and start over here with the XLRs here. We don't really use them nowadays and stuff like that because the signals that we get are going to be embedded to us. Okay, but you have the ability to send line level or mic level down this box. Okay, so you can do that. So you could send it and receive it over here. Not really needed nowadays. The next thing is your video inputs and outputs. If this is the control room unit, you are actually probably going to receive the cameras, right? And you're going to put that on satellite. But sometimes Golf Channel or whatever your client is, they want you to send a video out to the field so the talent can see it. So you have the ability to send and or receive 2 videos on these boxes. Okay. Next thing is the IFB system in this thing. It can only accept dry IFB. Okay, that's very important. The fiber does not like voltage, so we have to dry this out. Most of our trucks are going to come out with voltage on them. So we have in this kit we have these little line dryers here. Okay, so if you need to feed an IFB circuit out there, you go to IFB 1. Okay, this will take the voltage off of it. So you're taking the regular IFB off your truck. You go in here and it dries it out and it sends it down the fiber. Okay. If you need a second IFB, you put the second one in there, run another line over, obviously, and then you have 2 IFBs. They're both dry. They go down the fiber, no problem. Okay. And the next thing is your PL. Okay. If you need to do a PL, you're going to take one of these little cables here. It's a little 5-pin to XLR breakout. You plug that into channel 1 over here. Okay, then we're going to spin this box around. This is a system interface made by Studio Tech. It's model 45A. It's basically doing the same thing that these things doing, but it dries out the audio for us. Okay, so channel 1, the cables are sexed properly in the back there, so you just go channel 1 to channel 1, right? So then you have 1 channel PL. All right. If you need a second channel PL, you can do that with the second cable going in the second input. Okay. And then go into channel 2, and you have the potential of having 2 channels. Now I say that because you need 2 Telos links in order to do that, right? Or two devices and stuff in order to get you the 2 channels. So this Telos link right here, okay, if you want to do 2 PLs, you have to have 2 of these things, and you take one of them and put them on channel 1 and the second one channel 2, and then you're good to go. Okay. If we're talking about the NT trucks, they have 2 Telos links in there, but they run Clearcom. They have it's a 1-channel system, and there are 4 channel outputs, but they're all single channel. Where RTS has 2 married together, riding on the same cable, that only has 1. In order to get 2 channels of Clearcom into this thing, you need 2 of these system interfaces, or you need a device like this that takes TWC10A, okay, that takes 2 inputs and spits out a TW, okay? So we have a couple of these, we don't have a lot of them, but just for point of reference, single channel out of that truck, 2 channels out of that truck. We can get 2 channels out of this, but you have to combine them somehow, and that would either be with this or a second one of these, okay? So that's the RTS system. Also, we talk about the IFB. Once again, let's talk about the receive side of this, okay? You come back, or you're in the field now, and once again, you have the mic level inputs, line level inputs, you have the inputs and outputs, depending if you're in the field. Obviously, you want to send video. You receive video, it goes to a monitor, all right? You also have the outputs, okay? The IFBs and the PLs we talked about. You have line outputs and an IFB output, okay? What's the difference? The line outputs are dry, okay? So if you have a box that needs a battery, then you're going to use this or something like this that has a battery in it, because this is just a regular line level output. If you use the IFB output, that's just telling you there's voltage on it, so you can actually use the Studio Tech box, okay? And you can select between channel 1 and channel 2 because both of them are riding on that one cable, all right? And you'll know that because there's a power button here, it'll light up. Voltage, okay, these boxes here, and dry, you're going to use something with the battery in it, okay? That's the big difference. You also can use the RTS boxes that we have in our truck, the IFB boxes, but these are just a 1-channel box right here. They do make a 2-channel, but the ones we have are typically just 1 channel. You can make this in, well, you can't make it into 2-channel, but you could open this up and you can flip a couple dip switches and select between channel 1 and channel 2. Okay, but that's maybe a different video. We can show you how to do that. So if you use this, instead of, if you didn't have a Studio Tech box in the field and you only had one of these, it'll still work, but you're only gonna get the 1 channel at a time. You'd have to select between which channel you want inside the box. But with this one, you can select both, really doesn't matter, okay? And also, then we have the last thing is we have the intercom that comes out, and that is just like a regular PL. And if you have an RTS system, it's going to have both channels on there. If you fed both channels into the system interface, if you have a Clearcom system and you only fed it to 1 channel because you don't have one of these, or if you don't have a second system interface, you're only going to get 1 channel. But it works the same way. This is going to power up. That's what's cool about this thing. You have to dry to get into it, but on the outside of this thing, it reinserts the voltage so it works like a normal live shot would. Okay, so that's the boxes very quickly, actually. And we'll walk over here and I'll show you the inputs to the truck just so we're clear. This is Wolf Coach, and she's a typical truck for PSSI. Your intercom here is going to be RTS, 2 channels riding on it automatically. Now, I don't think there's 2 Telos links in this truck, but if they did, then you did have 2 channels on the Telos 1, channel 1, Telos 2, channel 2. So you plug that in, and the cables are labeled PL, IFB1, IFB2. You have your IFB here, and you can just plug them in. And then you have 4 cables. They're labeled SDI 1 through 4. You determine what's what. It really doesn't matter. I mean, because it's going from here to the live link. So if you wanted both your camera receives from the field on 1 and 2, and you want to send your returns on 3 and 4, that's fine. I mean, that's completely up to you. Now going over to the NT truck. Okay, once again, you have a Clearcom system in this truck, and there are 4 outputs, okay? But in order to get 2 signals into that box, you need, once again, you need a 2 system interfaces or that little converter box that I showed you. It's just a single output at a time, unless it's combined somewhere. And then the last thing is the IFB out. They're here as well. And obviously, you know, the video inputs are going over here, and the outputs, tie lines, whatever you want to use. But I mean, very simple, similar, but except for the fact that the comms is not combined on this truck. You have to combine it afterwards versus the NT truck. Any questions?